Hey guys, it's the OC with Boss Cowboy Sports, where your voice matters. And in today's video, I want to break down my feedback and my thoughts from Dak Prescott's interview on the Rich Eisen show. Let's go. So guys, there's several things I want to point out that I thought was really telling and a credit to Dak Prescott, along with what I've learned from looking at the last several seasons of Super Bowl teams and what I think that could mean for the Dallas Cowboys. So, Dak Prescott's interview with Rich Eisen, he was very careful in how he approached Dak Prescott. And he was very, mindful to ask certain questions about how the season ended and how Dak Prescott felt. Dak said he's been thinking about this several times daily, about what could have been, what should have been, and wanting to finish stronger and in a better position than what we did. Rich also asked him something that was very interesting, in my opinion, because Dak is such a stand-up guy, consummate professional. He asked him, "Hey, what makes you mad? What is it? Is it someone cutting you off? Is it, a dog barking? What is it?" I mean, he was reaching and grabbing for what really got Dak Prescott going. And Dak was careful in answering, and he was saying people that make assumptions and believe that they know me, and they understand and know things about me, and they understand situations, and maybe they don't understand the situation. So it was interesting how Rich Eisen got through that interview, and it was very, very careful, very, very timed and measured. And Dak, on the other side, was very measured, very self-controlled. And when Rich Eisen brought up anything that could be controversial, when he brought up that Jerry Jones mentioned that Dan Quinn was head coaching material, and that we know that Mike McCarthy won't always be our head coach. Dak was very careful and protective to be sure and agree with Rich Eisen, which I believe is true as well, and saying that Mike McCarthy and Dan Quinn are tight. They have respect. They have a respect for each other as coaches and what they've done. And it's no schism or competition between them, and that we're a unified front, and that we're all underneath Mike McCarthy at this time, which is all perfectly, the right things to say and how to handle that situation. So Dak was really being a good leader and just a professional, and in my opinion, a really good big brother, in the sense that, hey, he's very protective of anything that will be misconstrued or will be divisive or divide the Cowboys in any type of way. And so in his answers, he was very, very measured, but also at the same time, in my opinion, protective on his thoughts and his feelings to a degree. One key thing that I think was very, very interesting when talking about the Super Bowl teams and the comparison and contrast between the Cincinnati Bengals and the LA Rams. When talking about it, Dak said, "Hey, Joe Burrow, he's on fire. He's playing well. I mean, just tremendous. He slows the game down. He makes the game be played at his own pace," which is on one side of it. And I think that the tale of the two Super Bowl teams is really what I got out of the interview, and some nuggets on what the Cowboys can do moving forward as a possible strategy to be more successful than we have with the style of management that we have. And I think that's really important, because every team, every organization has a culture. It has a style of management. And so the Cowboys have a style of management. They have a style. Jerry Jones is very hands-on and very out in front. And that's his management and his leadership style. And so how can you be successful if your owner is a very hands-on guy, likes to be in the middle of just about every decision that's made, even football personnel-wise and beyond? Well, when Dak Prescott mentioned that Joe Burrow was just fantastic, he was on fire and they're playing good ball and all those things. We know that owner, if you watch the Boss Cowboy Sports Show, and that's why you should like, share, and subscribe to content and follow Boss Cowboy Sports on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. And you can follow me, the OC100, on Twitter. But listen, that owner previously was hands-on in the middle of everything, and it didn't work out for the Cincinnati Bengals. This is the first year, and if you follow Boss Cowboy Sports, Boss Cowboy did an excellent video about this. He stepped back. He let his personnel do the job. He didn't interfere. He let the coaches coach. He stepped back last year, and the result of that was Cincinnati making it to the Super Bowl. Just him stepping back and letting his people that he put in place, that hopefully he trusts, perform and do their job function. Okay? Now, when you talk about the Dak Prescott interview, on the other side, he says, hey, the LA Rams, oh man, they went all in. Meaning that they got every possible free agent. They signed Von Miller. They signed Odell Beckham Jr. They went out and they got Matt Stafford in a big trade to ship Jared Goff to Detroit. And to get Matt Stafford, they made a myriad of roster moves the last several years to be competitive, to be in contention, while all masterfully, in my opinion, giving up draft picks, but still mastering the salary cap by still paying people a lot of money. I mean, they've done a great job mastering and maneuvering and being willing to go out and get those big name free agents and do what they had to do to be competitive and put themselves in Super Bowl contention. But I'll tell you something else. The last couple of years, another team did the exact same thing that yielded them a Super Bowl, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They signed Tom Brady, and this was on the cusp of when their general manager was about to lose his job. He had to do something. He signed Tom Brady. They got Rob Gronkowski, right? They drafted Wirfs, offensive lineman. They had some good defensive pieces. They added others. So they went all in to be competitive, and it yielded a Super Bowl for them. For the LA Rams, this has yielded another Super Bowl appearance for them. We'll see if they can come out on top. Now, if you have a management style, and this is where I'm getting to the Cowboys, if you have a management style that is all in, and the history of you being all in as a manager and being involved in every single decision has not yielded a Super Bowl in more than 25 years now, why not adopt the philosophy to be all in? That is the workaround, in my opinion, for the Cowboys to be a championship contending team, because the Cowboys have proven they've drafted well. However, if you build through the draft, you have to have a coach that has autonomy to make personnel decisions, and you have to have a rock star coaching staff to get the most out of those players before those contracts that are rookie contracts expire and you have to pay everyone. That's what the Seattle Seahawks did, but the huge difference, they built through the draft, and Dan Quinn coached there, a Legion of Boom. But the main difference there is that the head coach had autonomy. The head coach had decision-making authority to build to roster, and he was and is, still, in my opinion, Pete Carroll, a great head coach. This also happened, if you look back, with Bill Belichick, building through the draft, but he had the autonomy to make trades and to incorporate his system, and he has a rock star coaching staff that everybody in the league is pulling from. So in order for the build through the draft philosophy to yield you championships, you got to have a coach that has autonomy and that has a great staff. I believe that the Cowboys have the talent. We have a pretty good staff, but we don't have enough separation from the front office to the coaching staff on autonomy and making decisions to make the pieces all meld together. And so if you're not going to go with that philosophy and you're the Jones family, go with the LA Rams or the Tampa Bay Bucks philosophy. Go all in. Get the best draft picks you can, but bring in the free agents that can fill in the pieces and make your team a powerhouse so that you can go deep and win in the playoffs. Because what we need more than anything, if the philosophy of the front office doesn't change in some regards, is this. You need players that Chan Gailey had when he won a Super Bowl. He won with Jimmy Johnson's players. But you need players that can make the coach look good. You need players that can win the football game irregardless of scheme or strategy or even play calling. You need that much talent on the team so that you can go get 6. I suggest, and I'd like to hear your feedback about this in the chat. Let me know what you think about the video. That if you won't let your coaches coach and have autonomy and you don't have an all-world coaching staff, then what you should do is begin, if you really want to win another Super Bowl, begin to look at the model of the Rams and the Bucks and perhaps adopt the all-in philosophy. So that's all for this video, guys. Don't forget to like this content, share and subscribe. Follow Boss Cowboy Sports on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. And until next time, we'll see you.